It was a case of unhappy campers in Auckland's Aotea Square yesterday as police moved in to evict Occupy protesters. But while there are still tents pitched, there's a real feeling that the protest could be on its last legs. Veteran activist and one of the first to set up a camp, John Minto, witnessed all the action. He joins us now. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Colin.
Can you give us an update on what's happened overnight? We understand some more protesters have come back in with tents.
Yeah, well, when I left last night, there were more people were arriving, and there's a substantial camp there at the moment.
So are those protesters prepared to resist arrest should the police follow through on yesterday's action?
Well, I think some of the people are, and I think that, irrespective of what happens today, though, I mean, the big story really is that it has already been a hugely successful movement because it has managed to change public opinion quite dramatically. In the US, I was reading an opinion survey yesterday showing that the number of people who regard class conflict as a serious or very serious issue in the United States has shifted from 47% to 66%. And that's put down to the success of the Occupy movement. So what it's done is it's put this issue of inequality right at the centre of public attention, and I think we'll see the same shift in public opinion in New Zealand.
But the Occupy movement has not garnered widespread public support in New Zealand at all.
No, well, it's not. The aim is not to get. The aim really, it's a tactic, it's a way of bringing this issue, putting it in front of the public in a way that it can't be ignored, and I think to that extent it's been very successful, irrespective of what happens from now on.
Will it continue though? I mean, is this it? I mean, you can't, surely you can't stay in tents forever.
Well, it depends on, well, that's true, and as I say, it's really a tactic, it's not the end game. This is, no one ever thought that a few tents camped in Aotea Square was going to bring the end of global capitalism. It's not. But I think what it's done is it's put the issues of inequality and the appalling situation, like here in New Zealand where we have 1% of the population owns more than 3 times what the poorest 50% own. That's quite wrong. It's quite absurd.
That's a valid argument and a valid concern, but again, so many people email in and so many people get frustrated that you're costing ratepayers money for the potential cleanups and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And that it's just the same old activists, and you're not getting a wider public joining in on this movement.
Well, I think the wider public are joining in terms of public opinion. They certainly have, and I think all this talk about the cost of cleanup, the actual cost of cleanup is a handful of grass seed. That's all it is. I mean, the council are hyping this thing up because they're embarrassed. They see it as an untidy.
Though, haven't they?
I don't think so at all. There's the police, I think, have been quite patient. I don't think the council has. The council from day one have been wanting to get the protest moved on. And in fact, it's not interfering in the rights of anyone in reality, despite what the council says. It looks untidy, but then it's no more untidy than any camping ground anywhere in New Zealand. So I don't think...
But it's not a campground, that's the point.
Yes, that's true, it's not a campground.
Why couldn't people come every day and protest with their banners and then go home?
Well, they do. I mean, people like I do, people like myself do, because I've got a job and a family. But other people can and do stay there and are engaging continuously with members of the public on the issues that are of concern to the people.
Occupy protester, thank you very much. John Minto, thank you.
Thanks, Karen.